In the brutal podcast system, any jackass with a microphone and internet connection can pose as an expert on any topic under the sun. Fortunately, however, there exists a humble duo of said jackasses who at least aspire to minimize the effects of the current egregious level of aforementioned fake-ass horseshit and those who perpetrate it. This duo attempts this very noble task by allowing you, the listener, to have total unimpeded access to the real minutia of their pathetic everyday lives. This two-member task force is known deep within the podcast world as Zero Front. These are their stories.
Welcome into the first edition of Zero Front, formerly known as Sean Matthews Podcast. As you heard in that new introduction, it's a new chapter for our show. We changed the name of the show to Zero Front. We really like that name. And Joe Thurman's here with me. What do you think about that name, Joe?
Well, I do. We came up with the name because we wanted to make a clear distinction between the way we were operating in season one and the way we're going to operate now. We were operating in season one. If you go back to the end of season one, in that last episode, I give you an analogy of being at a kid's birthday party with the family and so forth. And you're going to talk and you're going to act a certain way because you're with Uncle Ernie and Grandma Jean and everybody and little kids. You're going to act a certain way when they're cutting the cake. And now, a little later, that same day, you're out in the backyard with the boys, with the guys, with the men, having a couple beers, smoking a cigar, whatever. You're going to be more of yourself. So all we decided to do was not to add anything. We just decided to subtract the little thin veil we were operating under and expose more of who we really are, i.e. Zero Front. And front, for those who don't know, when you front, it's like you're bullshitting. You're putting on a facade. So that's our thing, is zero front, zero facade, right at you. This is the fucking way we talk every day of the week, right? So that's the way it goes. So I do like the name, Sean, and that's what it means for those who don't know what it means. What else is on your mind?
Not much, man. We recently went on a little adventure.
Well,
Let's
let me
jump
just
right to the lyrics.
Yeah, I want to get to the lyrics, and then we're going to get to our venture. But I thank you for that, Sean. I'm going to get right to the lyrics here. Quote, I've seen the lights go out on Broadway. I saw the Empire State lay low. And life went on beyond the Palisades. They all bought Cadillacs and left there long ago. Those are classic lyrics from a song by the one and only Billy Joel. The name of the song is Miami 2017. And unless you're a real Billy head like we are, some folks don't even know that. That's why they parenthesize this song and they put Miami 2017 and they put in parentheses, seen the lights go out on Broadway. It's one of those songs, Sean, that people don't really know by the title, but they know by a classic lyric. Real quickly, a quick one by The Who is Baba O'Reilly. Say, do you know Baba O'Reilly? So I said, what? Oh, Teenage Wasteland. Oh, yeah, I know that one, dude. So people know certain songs not by the title of the track, but by a classic lyric in it. But nevertheless, the song is Miami 2017, and it's by Billy Joel. It's on the Turnstiles album. And also on that album, and tied in with the whole thing, is Say Goodbye to Hollywood, because he moved from L.A. back to New York. That's all part of this whole story here. And New York State of Mind was also right in there when he was thinking about all this. He was living in L.A. in the early 70s, Billy Joel was, and he was trying to make a go of it as a musician. Then he found out what dire straits New York City was in at the time. They were almost bankrupt, and they asked the federal government for help. And President Ford said in so many words, he's not interested in it, and he condemned the idea without even any hesitation. As a matter of fact, the New York Daily News, the iconic headlines, it reads this way, and I quote, Ford to city, drop dead. Ford to city, drop dead. When Billy Joel saw that, and he read the article, and he got more of a grasp on how much peril the city was in, he decided to move back to New York. And he moved back there, and he was concerned. And he thought to himself, I'm in my mid-20s. What if this city really does fall. I mean, it won't be the first time in history that a major metropolis has fallen. And he thought to himself, I'm in my mid-20s now. If this great place falls, what am I going to tell my grandchildren in 40 some years? So he randomly, arbitrarily just picked 2017 because in 1975, 76, 2017 was unconscionable almost. It was like way out there. So he picked 2017 and he created what he called a science fiction story about a guy who was in Florida in 2017, 68 years old, and explaining to his grandchildren what a wonderful place this New York place was and how it fell. And that was the impetus for the song. And I think it's one of Billy Joel's best, one of my favorite, not the favorite now, let's don't get it twisted, but one of my favorite. I mean, and some people, Shawnee, even called it prophetic because he talks about skyscrapers crumbling. That gives me chills when I think about it. He wrote this in 1976. Skyscrapers crumbling. After 9/11, people looked at this song and wow, wonder what the hell, and we also talked about churches burning and bridges blowing up and so forth and so on, which it's, when you investigate a little further, you do realize it's a science fiction. But when, art imitates life and life imitates art, it's like skyscrapers are crumbling. The sirens in the very beginning are to set the tone for, wow, this is an emergency. But I think it's tremendous. And that leads me into what I'd like to say is January 11th, a week and a day ago, 8 days ago, you and I got on a train and we went to New York City in Madison Square Garden. And we got to see this guy. I had never been to Madison Square Garden. I had never seen Billy Joel. And it was from the train ride up to the restaurant we stopped in, to the people we met at the concert, to when he took the stage and he opened up. And this is why I went here today with this. Plus, it is one of my favorite songs. He opened up with this song. And I was tingly all over. I was like, wow. And it's nothing but him and the piano and a big blue light coming down on him. And when he started in, I was just like, oh, wow, this is going to be epic. You know what I'm saying? It really, really was. And Shawnee, I had a tremendous night. And I'm so glad we did that.
What'd you think about the seats? How about that upgrade, man?
It was a last minute upgrade on your end. And I'm so glad you did it because, you took us. I mean, if it's a circle, right? If it's a circle and Billy Joel's standing at, 6 o'clock and if it's a clock face, right? And Billy Joel's standing at 6 o'clock, you look straight ahead to 12 o'clock. We were at like 11. You moved us all the way over to like 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? And so for people to get the idea, it was a great upgrade at like the night before you did it. And it was like so cool. And to be honest with you, I'm just spoiled when it comes to these. I don't go to these things a lot. I don't go to a lot of them. But when I do, I want to do it right. Right. And we did with Bruce. We did it here. And in the future, who knows where we'll go? I don't know, but we'll see what happens. But that kind of thing. But let's just talk about the other night.
What was your impression of the train?
The train was, see, I don't take trains anyway. And once in a while, we used to take something called the high-speed line out of Lindenwold that used to take us to Philly or something. But it's been years, decades, right? But I was expecting something more like you see on Seinfeld. I mean, something really rough and this and that. But we got on this train and it was like, it was like the Orient Express or some shit, man. It was like the seats were really beautiful and the place, it was clean and you could just tell, wow, this isn't just some some little coach here. This is a nice. So I was pleased in that regard with the train. And it's just so nice. We jumped on in Hamilton and we took it up and I don't know, it seemed like an hour and a half. Maybe it was a little longer, but when you're not driving, you can fiddle with your phone. You can take a nap. You can look out the window. You can do whatever. And I just thought, and guess what? When the train arrives, I'll go up these stairs and you're right in center. You're right in New York City in Manhattan. So that was cool. That was cool.
But it's wild that you could just kind of be exported from one world to the other. Like you're just like, okay, the suburbs, bam, we enter this train, and next thing you know, we enter this whole new world. It's like entering a different galaxy, a different universe, and it's like, it's
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's like entering another galaxy basically, and it's cool. And you know, you said let's get something to eat that's like predictable and you know doesn't do something crazy to your stomach or whatever. So probably like a cheeseburger could work. So I researched where there are good cheeseburgers near the Madison Square Garden, and this place called Maggie Riley's popped up, and we went there. It's an Irish pub about a couple blocks away from the Garden. And Joe got a cheeseburger, and man, what'd you think about it?
I thought that cheeseburger was one of the best ones I've had in, I don't know, I'm not gonna go nuts here, but in 5 years maybe. I mean, I don't. It was as if you went to some relative's house that's really a grill master, and he or she made you a double patty just the way you like it with fresh ground beef. I'm talking Angus, just talking real primo. And it was tender. It was done just the way I like it. It was, I said medium. And when I say medium, because that's kind of what I mean, but I'm so used to getting it messed up. Like, okay, it was really medium. It was fresh ground beef. The first thing I tasted when my teeth sunk into this thing was the grill marks, the charcoal flavor. So that was there. And on top of it was a nice couple pads of cheese, and I mean good bacon. Not bacon that's so thick it breaks your fucking teeth like a dog treat or something like that. You know what I mean? This was primo, nice bacon, just the way I like it. Not too soft, not burnt to a crisp either, right in between. And with each bite, it broke apart. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. Tell us about your shepherd's pie.
Yeah, man. Thank you for asking because that shepherd's pie was pretty fucking good. I gotta be honest. It was a treat. It was, it first comes to you, it's like you see a thick layer of like mashed potatoes, with a little charcoal on top. It's a little nice. It looks like it's gonna be crispy. And you put they give you a spoon with it. You put your spoon into it, and then there's a little layer of mashed potatoes, but then you get into it, and there's a layer of gravy, beef, vegetables. It was nice and hot. It was just very good. And
There cheese on that, Sean?
I could have added cheese for $1, but I haven't had shepherd's pie with cheese before, so I don't want to take a chance. So I didn't
Okay,
add the cheese.
gotcha.
You can add cheese though. It's right on the menu.
Okay.
So yeah, the shepherd's pie was delicious. And Joe, your burger. I think next time when I go, um, I think I'm gonna try the cheeseburger, and
Oh
then
yeah.
I might. I don't know if I get the shepherd's pie too, and like share it with someone who I'm with. Like, yo,
No, 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 I'm not in to start sharing dishes, but what I can tell you is,
I'm
and
just
I'm
thinking.
as
I
much as I
somehow
respect your shepherd's pie, when I go back there, I'm getting that cheeseburger, and
the
it's a double
cheeseburger,
patty.
man.
I'm getting that bacon cheeseburger again. And
Yeah, so I'll just try the cheeseburger. But wow, Jokic just shot a free throw. Celtics are playing Nuggets right now. Jokic just shot a free throw. The ball bounced in the back of the rim, bounced high up in the air, and bounced right back in. It's crazy. Like anyway, yeah. So it was a fun night. So we ate. Joe, what would you score the burger out of 10?
timeout. Is Dominic DiVincenzo playing tonight?
No, it's Dante DiVincenzo, sir. No,
Dante
the
DiVincenzo.
Knicks, the
I'm
Knicks,
fucking with you.
the Knicks are
I
the Knicks
know.
are not playing tonight.
I'm just messing with you because a couple of shows ago, you like stone cold interrupted me and started talking about DiVincenzo, and I got a little
Yeah,
pissed off, but we worked it out. But that's what we do, brah. You know what I mean? To go back to the train for a second, I jumped onto the train, and the first thing before we sit down, you're jumping all over my ass because I didn't remind you to bring your wallet or some shit. And I'm thinking to myself, don't you see the irony here? You're getting pissed off at me for not reminding you. You're getting pissed off at me for forgetting something. Don't you see the irony? So, but what we do, we talked it out. It's actually funny shit. We should do more of that on the show. But go ahead. What were you saying, brother?
yeah. So the cheeseburgers. Oh, then you got dessert. What'd you get? Like an Oreo mousse cake or some crap?
Yeah, it was. I didn't want to get. I wanted to get the chocolate, or as you call it, the chocolate. I wanted to get that maybe think about that, but I didn't want to go heavy chocolate because that can really. I don't want to get heartburn out and when I'm out. Even though I had a Pepsi AC with me on my, carrying it with me, I didn't want to risk heartburn at the concert. So I got what they call an Oreo cream pie or something like that, which had some chocolate in it, obviously, but it was more had the consistency of like cheesecake, but an Oreo flavor. And it was just right because if left up to me, Sean, If you saw the size of that wedge they brought me, I'd have taken 3 of those because it was a cheat day. I'd have taken 3 of those in one chunk. You know what I mean? But it was just the right size for dessert, and it was just enough because I like to have a little dessert, man. I like to have a little something, even if it's a banana or something like on a regular like strict eating day. You want something sweet, maybe a handful of raisins or whatever. On a cheat day, I want something really good. So that's why I got that. But it was perfect because it wasn't a giant wedge. But no, that meal was righteous, bro. That was a righteous meal. And then we get to the concert, and you're showing me MSG. I took a couple pictures. One of the pictures I took was of the Pope, who was there not too long ago. It was a thing on the wall. I took a picture there. We got to our seats, and a young lady rolled in with her mother or her, whatever, her adopted mom or stepmom. I don't know what the relationship was, but she rolled in and she said something or other about, oh, it's her birthday. She said that to remember the usher that was working there, the gentleman that was working there? Well, the mother said, it's her birthday, pointing to her daughter. And so the usher comes up, and I thought he was just going to come up and say, oh, happy birthday, because apparently he knew them. Maybe they go to MSG every now and again, right? So he came up, and they're right behind us. So he came up, and I thought he was just going to say happy birthday. But he said, hey, if you two want to come up in front of the stage here and take a few pictures, you're more than welcome to do that. I can take you up. So he took those two up, and it was her 20th birthday. Nice kid, cute kid, really a nice girl. And he took them up to in front of the stage, not on the stage now. And this is before the concert, but nevertheless, it's MSG, right? So I'm sure she got a few pictures, and I'm sure she did because I was watching them in front of where the piano was and so forth. But it was a really nice gesture. We got to talking with them a little bit too. They were really cordial and they were having fun. And I thought that was neat, the fact that we got to be part of that too, because we did. We were talking with them a little bit. And I like that part. I like that part too.
Yeah. So anyway, so you were impressed with the garden. It was show number 98 of his official residency in New York. He's played more than 98 shows at MSG, but this is show number 98 of his official residency. So yeah, it's cool. He opens up Miami 2017. I know you wanted him to play Captain Jack or Summer Highland Falls or The Stranger, but he didn't play any of those. It was kind of like a duplicate.
Billy the Kid.
The show that it's kind
While
of
the Night is Still Young, but go ahead.
It was kind of it was almost a duplicate of the show I saw, except when I saw him, he played Summer Highland Falls, he played Billy the Kid.
Oh, shut up.
No, it was cool. I think you were having a good time. The funniest thing, and we might put this on social media eventually, during Piano Man, I tried to get a video of you singing Piano Man, and you just got like so confused and waved at the camera, and you were just like, what the fuck's going on, man? It was like it's one of the funniest videos I've ever seen.
Okay. It is, and what was funny to me is why is this Joker running right up? You basically pushed that phone down my fucking tonsils. I'm like, what the fuck what are you doing, man? You were way up in my face with this phone. I'm like, what are you doing? Now, if you really wanted to get a picture of me singing Piano Man, all you had to do was stay where you were and point your phone at me, and I'd have never known the difference. And you got a real pic. You would have gotten some real footage. But you ran up and this and that, and I'm like, I'm supposed to, okay, what am I supposed to pose now? Like I'm singing or what? Like, what do you do? I just didn't understand it. But in both of our defense, first of all, whatever you were going to get doesn't really matter anyway. I sang almost all the way through that song until the point where you were freaking me out there. Like, what the fuck are you doing? But the point is, we were both pretty, let's just say, quote unquote, relaxed. We were both pretty relaxed and really flowing with the show and had a good time, quote unquote, that kind of thing. So I don't really give a damn about that. I suppose it was funny. It was funny to you because I wasn't singing. It was funny to me because you're running up to me and putting this thing like 8 inches from my fucking face. I'm looking at myself on the phone. I'm like, what do you want, man? What are you doing? Because if you really wanted to get a picture of me singing, I would have never known about it. That would have been the best kind. Like, because you were 8 feet away, 6 feet away, you could have just pointed at your phone and not said a word. I was looking at the stage and I was singing, So if you wanted to get a picture of me singing Piano Man, all you had to do was stay put.
What was it like from your perspective to be part of a crowd singing Piano Man?
Listen, and I know Piano Man is Billy Joel's like Stairway to Heaven, right? It's okay, and he's probably like, oh, but and for all of us, it's like we've heard it 37 million times. Agreed, but you know what? That's just like Stairway to Heaven. Sometimes you got to take a step back and say, okay, yeah, it's been so overplayed and this and that. Sometimes it's the brunt of jokes and this and that. It's so common and so, but you know why? There's a reason, because it was freaking awesome. That's why we did the show that one night. Look, with Led Zeppelin, there are myriad tunes I could just, but I couldn't do any more at Led Zeppelin until I did that first, right? That was just the way I felt about it. Piano Man is his Stairway to Heaven, and singing that song with 20,000 people was
Sing us
really,
a
really.
song, you're a piano
All
man.
right, don't get too excited, Sparky.
I'm just
But
joking,
I
man.
know, but it was fantastic. It was fantastic, and I
Um,
want to tell you, 65% of what he did, I really, really, really liked. Right, the other 35 was like, it's okay, but that's all right, man. Of the 65% that I liked, I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was well worth going there and doing all that. There
yeah,
were about a
so
half a dozen songs you didn't do that, but
that
it's
was
okay.
I know, man. I'm just proud that you were able to kind of enjoy the city and like eat some good food because instead of just us going to get some like Chick-fil-A or some fast food burger or Taco Bell, like I was like, let's get New York City food. And honestly, it was a good decision because it worked out really well, man.
Yes, it really, really did, and I just didn't want to. I mean, we spent enough on the ticket, enough on this and that. Neither one of us are, Rockefellers, so I just didn't want to. Um, I didn't want to spend too much. But it was Sean. Um, when I go to Taco Bell and Let Loose or Chick-fil-A or someone like that, I'm at the better part of $30 a lot of times, the better part of it. And so for like $35 each, we ate at a great place and had you know, that real flavor, that real
And it is
down
cool.
home.
It was an Irish pub, and you said the bartender had an Irish accent, right?
We sat down and he walks up and he walks up and he says, "Gotta get you a drink, lads." Just like that. I swear that's what he said. And I don't think you heard him all that well, like, because it was somewhat noisy. It was listen, we were lucky to get 2 seats at that because the place was packed. We almost had to turn around and go. But the waitress said, if you don't mind sitting at the bar, I can get you two. And honest to God, the 2 seats that she got for us down the end of that bar, they were the last seats like to sit down and eat anywhere in that restaurant. That was packed. So it was noisy. But you didn't hear him. And I said to you, I turned to you and I said, could I get you a drink, lads? Just like that to you. And you're like, huh? I said, the bartender, you didn't hear that? He goes, you said, no, I didn't hear it, but that's cool. I said, and what's the name of this place again? That kind of thing. Okay. But no, it was neat. It was neat. It was
Yeah.
neat.
Would you say if you had to spend the same amount of money to go see um, an artist again, would you rather see Bruce in the pit or Billy in those similar seats again? Where would you go?
Well, there's positives and negatives to both, Shawnee. There really
You have to
is.
just choose. You have to choose another, just the same experience, but you have to choose.
Oh, the exact same experience. So each set list is going to be the same.
Yeah.
It's Bruce.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, remember I was telling you about that guy who works for the Howard Stern show, Mehmet, how a kid in his neighborhood gave him the finger. So he went to the kid's parents and wrote a letter and told them their kid gave him the finger.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you actually you said you agreed with that? You would do the same thing? Even if the kid just gave you the finger one time, that's it.
Oh, because the way you had explained it to me that night, I thought
No, they this is
you
what they
said,
revealed. They revealed in the next episode of the show is that he gave it to him one time, but he did it several times in the same moment. Like,
oh yeah, because you said I thought there
yeah,
was some, yeah,
that's what I
okay.
thought too. And then like they're like, oh, by the way, oh, it was only one time. And I was listening. I was like, oh my God, way to leave out that detail. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's a gigantic detail, bro. If some smart ass kid just gives me the finger off me, he's sitting on the back of a school bus on the back seat, and I'm in the car behind, and he or whatever, whatever one time. But if it's a repeated incident of disrespect, then I would, if I knew who the parents were, I'd knock on the door and just politely tell them what little Jimmy is doing, And they're liable to, if they're any kind of decent parents, um, they're going to say, okay, no problem, sir. We're going to talk to him about that. And, you know, and you could even, I would even stress it's not that big a deal and this and that, because I don't want the kid to get slapped around or anything. But you run the risk also though, of parents that are like, you know, my kid didn't do anything wrong. Why don't you get the hell out of here? That kind of thing. Yeah, you're going to wind up with some of those too. But most decent parents, most good, respectable, responsible, decent parents, if you come at them the right way and say, I'm sorry, Mrs. Cleaverton. I just wanted to say that I think Billy's a nice kid. He really is. He seems like a nice boy. It's just lately things have been a little bit off. He gave me the middle finger a couple of times recently, and I'm not that upset about it, but I'd like you to know so that it doesn't get that kind of behavior doesn't get him in trouble in the future. And I know you folks aren't those kind of folks. Boom. Right. So it's all the way you put it. If you walk up to the door and say, hey, that little bastard son of yours, something, then you might have, you know what I mean? So it's all in the presentation. But if that were repeatedly, let me just cut to the chase. If a kid repeatedly did that and I knew who the parents were, I'd let them know about it, that I didn't appreciate it. And maybe if there's something they could do to persuade him to, and that's called growing up. That's called learning lessons. We all had to do it. Right. So, but yeah, I didn't misinterpret. You did say something about the verbiage you used to me to describe that night indicated to me that this was a repeated thing. There were multiple apparently, but on the same day, like right in the same, like in the same 5 minutes, or something like that. So, but yeah. If there's nothing wrong with going to parents, and like I said, though, sometimes you might know who the parents are ahead of time, like for a different way. Like, oh Christ, no, I'm not going to go up and knock on their door. I'm wasting my freaking time. No wonder the kids like that because those, so it all depends on the situation, my bro. What else is going on, man? Have you seen any of these?
Have you ever heard
No, I'm just
woman
fucking with you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
women who say I have to go to the bathroom and powder my nose. What does that
Yeah.
mean?
Powder your when women say they have to powder their nose, it's understood. Instead of them saying they have to go take a piss, right? Or whatever, they say I have to go powder my nose. That's just a polite way. So
it doesn't mean they're putting makeup on?
It could, but it's a metaphor for going, using the facilities.
Or
especially for women, Sean.
I thought too, is like, what does it mean? Like they're doing cocaine, like they're powdering their nose with coke or something like that.
And in some circles, that could be true. There's a line in that other Billy Joel song, Big Shot, talk about that. But no. And when women say, "Oh, I have to go powder my nose," that means they just, they don't want you to know what they're doing, but they could be using the bathroom, like really using the bathroom, but they could be, fixing something or whatever. But
yeah. I tried the pretzel baconator, dude. It's friggin' so overrated, man. Like the pretzel, the taste of the pretzel bun in combination with a burger to me is disgusting. I don't want a pretzel taste with my burger, man.
Yeah, Shawnee, I remember being all hyped about to try that. I'm going back 5 years because this has been around. They bring it back every now and then. I'm going back. Got to tell you, it's got to be 5 years ago. I tried it, and I don't like these buns that are like hard to chew through or like really, really kind of tough. And this pretzel bun stuff and this brioche bullshit. Give me a regular hamburger bun, because like with that burger that I ate last week over there in New York, you asked me later that night, what was the bun? I don't know. And that's a good sign because I don't give a rat's ass about the bun too much. All I want to know is about the bun is sort of like officials in a game. I don't want to hear from. If I don't hear from you, it's pretty good because my attention was on the meat, that meat and the bacon and the cheese and ketchup, of course, but it was all so good that I don't pay much attention to the bun. But I don't like a tough bun either.
Is there a worse feeling than getting up early in the morning, like 5, 6 in the morning, when it's like the sun's barely out, it's still kind of dark, and it's cold outside? Yeah, there's stuff all over your windows. You got to wait for your windows to clear, and then you got to go spend the whole day at work. You got to drive to work. You got to spend a whole day at work. Is there anything worse feeling than that in the morning?
It's a tough one. It is. One of the things I didn't like too much about teaching is that, we had to be there at 7:10 every morning, which meant, I had to be up pretty much about 5:30 or whatever it was to, you get ready and so forth. And, but yeah, getting up anytime is not like fun to do. The earlier, the worse. And then if it's cold outside, it's even worse. But like anything else, after about 5-10 minutes, you're okay, you know. But we all do what we have to do in this world. You know what I mean? But what else? Have you seen any good movies lately?
Yeah, so today I saw a really cool movie called The Beekeeper. It was with Jason Statham or Statham, however you pronounce his name. Sorry about that, but he's always in action movies. He's always in like these absurd, crazy action movies. But this one was pretty cool. Like the Beekeeper is like this secret society of like government who no one knows about, and they have to protect the hive at all costs. So if the queen's hurting the hive, they have to try to assassinate the queen. And like, anyway, he's like living like this life as he's really a beekeeper. Like he actually like makes honey and stuff. And this lady gets scammed out of all her life savings by this group of like crazy hackers. And she like commits suicide.
Oh
So
my
he makes it
God.
his mission to like find out these people who did this to her and like kill them all and stuff. And the whole movie is about that. So
Fucking A. They
I
deserve
give
it.
it I give it a strong 7.5, solid action movie. But one of the best movies I saw recently was called American Fiction. I really enjoyed that one. It's about a African American author who's frustrated that his books aren't getting the proper attention because he's black.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
he,
yeah, yeah.
he writes under a pseudonym under like a real street ghetto sounding name,
Right.
and writes under like a Ebonics and slang. And the book gets considered for awards and starts like being the best sellers list and starts making a ton of money, and they want to make a movie after it. And he gets so frustrated. So that movie I give about a 7.9. It was really good. So Beekeeper and American Fiction are two movies I recommend that are in theaters now. Joe, how about you? You watch anything good lately?
Not in the way of movies, I don't think. Been watching a lot of sports. I mean, this is and I probably should let that kind of take us
Yeah, we're
into
talking about the Eagles in a second, but
yeah.
um, before the Eagles, I want to talk about a couple other things, man. But yeah, man.
Okay. Well, I would like to talk quickly while you're figuring out those other things. I'll just give you my feel on the Eagles, and then you can give me your feel on whatever. Um, The Birds had a difficult year. The Birds were 10-1 at one point, but that 10-1 wasn't a real 10-1. If you followed every game, they could have been a 6-5 football team at that point very easily. They really could. They won so many squeakers, and you knew going along that they were going to be this year's Minnesota Vikings. Last year, the Vikings did something very similar. Won a lot of squeakers, accumulated a record that was way better than they were, and then reality smacked them in the face. The Philadelphia Eagles last year were the best team in football. They didn't actually win that game. It was taken from them, by the referees. And Jalen didn't help with giving the other team 7 points on a fumble either, but they were the better football team. That's why they were favored going into that game last year, that Super Bowl. But they lost a lot of things, Shawnee. They lost their offensive coordinator. They lost their defensive coordinator. They lost 5 guys on that starting defense. Really good football players. And missing all that and also being the team that was lost the Super Bowl, the chances of getting back were slim anyway. So with all that being said, shit
So let's just
happens.
cut,
It
let's cut to
happened.
the chase. Let's cut to the chase. If they fire Sirianni, which they probably should, who's
I
your
agree.
first choice? Belichick, Harbaugh, or Belichick or Harbaugh? What do you think?
First of all, I want to
Or
agree with
Vrabel?
you. Right. I want to agree with you wholeheartedly about they should get rid of Sirianni. It's not like punishment for this, but it's just like a lot of people say, well, he won this many, he won that money, he won that. Listen, he he had a team this year that was nothing more than a 500 team all year long. And when they went into that final slide, he couldn't get them out of it. So, yeah, I do agree with you that he should be fired. And okay, my short list, I'm really scratching my head about Belichick because I don't know, Sean. I mean, no great coach has ever gone to another team. Lombardi went to the Redskins when he left Green Bay. Jimmy Johnson went to Miami. I mean, it's been done. But Parcells went to God knows where. He went to a couple different places. And no coach has ever won a Super Bowl with two teams. Um, So I don't, and I just think that something happened with Belichick in the last couple, 3, 4 years, in addition to Tom Brady retiring. But I don't know. I think I would be the guy I would really go after first and foremost, without question, is Jim Harbaugh. He's a freaking good football coach. I know he's a little edgy. I know he can be. So what? This is Philadelphia. It's not Topeka, Kansas. This is Philadelphia. He's a little edgy. Guess what? What else is new? Who isn't? All right. So, and I'll tell you, I love Nick Sirianni, but he can be, in case you didn't notice, he can be a little
Well,
edgy.
you know who I go after, right?
All right.
Eric Taylor.
Eric Taylor.
He's the varsity football coach of the Dillon Panthers in the fictional TV show Friday Night Lights on NBC.
Oh, okay.
I
was
know,
wondering.
seriously,
Where the hell is he going with it?
If I could choose, I'd rather have Mike Tomlin, but I think he's staying with the Steelers. But yeah, I'd probably go Tomlin, Belichick, and then Harbaugh third. So right now I'm rooting for Belichick. So hopefully they're doing their due diligence before they fire Sirianni. They're getting assurance that they're going to get one of the two, Harbaugh or Belichick. So hopefully they don't make any rash decision. Then, because we could end up with Mike Vrabel too, and that'd be fine, I guess.
I like Vrabel's a good football guy, and yes. He did a lot with that team, and there was it was limited quarterback talent, limited passing game. They had Henry and all, but he knows how to he knows his football. The dude knows his football. But Jim Harbaugh would be first. And I think after Jim Harbaugh I would take Belichick. After Belichick, I think we say Harbaugh, Belichick, and who else would be good? Vrabel. And who else? Oh, you know who I would think about? No one's even talking about. And he might not do it because he's buddies with Sirianni. Is Frank Reich. He was here before. He helped Doug win a Super Bowl. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what they do. I think they have to do something though, bro. Yeah. Are you there? Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm letting you talk, man.
Okay.
So yeah, man, I can't believe it's actually snowed a couple. Remember last show we were talking about it snowing, but it's actually snowed a couple times this week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it did, but Shawnee, we don't get, and I know for a fact it's been at least 6 years because I moved from where I used to live to where I live now over 6 years ago. So 6 years ago. And there hasn't been a snow like knee deep in all those years. And even now we're getting snow, but we're getting 2 inches. Oh, wow. Boy, today was a big one. We might get 4 inches in some spot. I mean, what happened to those snows so to me, it's okay. But my God, what happened to 2 of those good storms every winter? It's almost like we really don't get snow anymore, any serious snow anymore. But anyway, what I'd like to do is quickly do let me just talk about the Eagles real quickly. They have to do something. Cowboys are holding on to their coach. I, as an Eagle fan, could not be happier. You stay right where you are and you do what you're doing. I mean, what gets me about them sometimes is just the hubris, the audacity to we have high standards around here in championships. What the fuck are you talking about? Where do you get that from? I mean, it's 30 years ago, because 30 years ago, some guy named Jimmy Johnson was here. There's no standard there. As a matter of fact, the standard there is to not win championships. Is to get kicked right out of the playoffs very quickly. That's the standard there. I mean, what the fuck are you talking about? We have a standard. We won the thing 6 years ago. Okay. We've been to so many championship games and this and that and all kind of, so, I mean, I just don't, but nevertheless, they like to imagine this little pseudo world in which, and we are the Cowboys and we have some reputation to live by. And what the fuck are you talking about? Dude, get a time machine, cuz. Anyway, so that's that. I want to get into, if I can, I just wanted to, on the Cowboys, the Flyers are
Wait, you're
playing
talking about
better.
commercial? You're talking about commercials. Did you ever see that commercial with Derek Jeter driving home in that Jeep?
Yeah.
That commercial makes me kind of sad sometimes, man.
Does it?
What do you think about that
Well,
commercial? Like where he has to like there's bad weather, so he can't take the plane, so he's got to drive home to his family. And that Roy Orbison song, "I Drove All Night's" playing, but I think it's a different version playing. And he drives home to his family. That for some reason that the commercial is kind of like weird, man.
well, it's slightly emotional. I got a good feeling out of it because it was pretty chill, it was pretty calm, and he's driving to his family, and they're all smiling at each other. Like they're all
Yeah,
happy.
like it's kind of like
We-
it's kind of cold outside, it's dark, he's driving and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the one that bums me out, and the commercial that bums me out. There's a sad commercial that bums me out a little bit. It's this young lady is probably about maybe in her mid-20s, and she goes over to her grandfather's house to see the grandparents. And apparently the grandmother is in, dementia or whatever. And she's talking to her grandfather, and he says, "Grandpa, how is she?" And he says, "Well, she has good days and bad days." And she goes out to the grandmother, and the grandmother seems kind of confused. So she goes, "Okay, Grandma, come on, let's go. Let's go for a ride." She takes her out for a ride, and she starts taking her by the school she used to go to and this and that. And she goes, "Okay, it's time to go home now." So she comes all the way back to the house, that same house. And the husband comes out, her grandfather comes out and just, "How you doing, sweetheart?" And she knows exactly who he is and this and that. But it was just one of those things. I think because my dad had the Alzheimer's and everything like that. But that's a real, and they played that song by John Denver, Sunshine, which is kind of an emotional type of a song. So it kind of fits in with it. But I thought it was really clever, and it can get to you. It can get to you.
Yeah.
But now, on a higher note, on a more positive note, I would like to, if I could, let me see where, yeah, do we have time? I think we have time. Um, I would like to do one, not several, just one pet peeve. I don't want to do a million of this today. Okay. Sometimes I have more, sometimes I have less. The only pet peeve I have this week is the use of a word, and the word is literally. Literally, Sean. You know what I mean? Literally. Okay. If I say to you, if I say to you, "Those wings were so hot, my mouth was literally on fire." What the fuck? No, it's not. It literally, okay. If you want your mouth to be on fire, let's put some lighter fluid there and strike a match. Then your mouth is fucking literally on fire.
What if we
Okay.
say we were
It's
literally we saw Bruce Springsteen and Billy Joel, and we were literally feet away.
you're correct because we were literally feet away. It may have been, 90 feet, but we were literally feet away. That's fine. But if uh, if you say something like, "Dude, that was so funny. I was literally dying laughing." Well, if you were literally dying laughing, we would have the coroner here and would have you hauled away on on a gurney. I mean, the word literally, that's where it irritates me to no fucking end. It
What
really
about when
does.
people say to be honest? Because they're talking like to be honest with you. But does that
We'll,
annoy you too?
no, and we'll talk about that. That doesn't bother me. I just want to. This is one of my pet peeves. It's just the word literally, folks. Look at literally, and then go look at the word figuratively, because most of the time just take you need another emphasis, word for emphasis. Get something else, but don't use the word literally for emphasis because you got to use it, correctly. It's just oh my God, I'm so hungry I could literally eat a horse. No, you couldn't eat a fucking horse. You know what I mean? Figuratively, yes, but please. And I know
Anyway,
that's nitty picking, but that's that.
yeah, now you got me hungry. Is I have a Wendy's single cheeseburger. I'm about to eat that for dinner in a second. So, all right, man. You want to wrap this up soon?
I seen the lights go out on Broadway. Let me think. Do I have anything else I want to add?
Literally.
Well, yeah, and you could say literally good because there's something I might want to add here or there that I didn't. We had a great time at the concert. It was epic. The song was Miami 2017, folks. Please listen to it. And can I go into my final word, Sean? Is that all right?
Go ahead.
All right. You know, the one job I could really see myself doing is installing mirrors. Good night.
Take care, everyone. Thanks for listening.